Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Student Attendance Advisory Committee meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 9 a.m. on December 19th, 2025. And Secretary, I'd like to do roll call.
Carrie Pruitt,
Present.
Lacey Keel,
Present.
Charles Aglabat, Catherine Kyler, Danielle Valancourt.
Present.
Thank you.
Could like a motion to, no, I don't, sorry. Okay, Secretary, are there any public comments?
Oh, we don't need to take public comment at the beginning. We only do it after action items and at the very end.
Okay,
I know it's confusing,
I
but
had
when
a-
it's listed on here, we don't actually.
Oh, I
list-
had on my. Okay, then let's proceed to item 2.01, approval of the minutes, September 12th meeting of the Student Attendance Advisory Committee for possible action. Are there any discussion regarding, is there any discussion regarding these minutes?
Lacey Keel, for the record, I move to approve.
Is there any public comment?
And, oh, it was just, thank you, I was just going to say it this time. And is there any public comment about the minutes?
There is none.
Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I approve. I second. I would second.
Okay, motion passes then, and
Wait, you
can
have to
I
call.
ask-
You have to
I
call
was
for a
just-
vote.
Sorry, I caught myself as I was saying that. All approved to approve the minutes? All, yeah.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Item 2.02, introduction of the new committee member, Catherine Kyler, Washoe County Juvenile Services, Juvenile Justice, discussion only.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Rochelle Murillo, staff liaison for the record. On the agenda today, we have Catherine Kyler, who is a new member of our board, and we wanted to take an opportunity to welcome her. And hope I am not putting you on the spot, but just to introduce yourself, she is our representative from Juvenile Services, so we are very happy to have you here. So I didn't know if you wanted to introduce yourself really quick.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be part of the board. I've been with Washoe County Juvenile Services for almost 20 years. A lot of experience working with kids and juveniles in our school district, so I hope just to be part of a great working team and bring some insight to the group as well. Thank you.
Okay, item 2.03, update on recognitions of school efforts to reduce chronic absenteeism and continued discussion on providing potential,
I think we're,
sorry,
we skipped down to 2.04. I think we've got 2.03. Maybe you have a different version.
it might have changed because I looked at the first agenda, not the one that was online. I'm sorry, that's what I made my notes on. Okay. Thank you. This one. My apologies. Okay. Here we go. Item 2.03 is update on Washoe County School District Intervention Department supports to reduce chronic absenteeism for presentation and discussion only.
Okay, good morning again, Rochelle Murillo for the record. We just wanted to take an opportunity to update you sort of on the work that we're doing within the intervention department. You may recall that we gave you sort of an update on what we were hoping to accomplish this year. This is the end of our first semester. And so we're gathered some information on what we've been doing. We were down a couple of staff, but we are now fully staffed. We have 10 attendance officers and 6 re-engagement specialists. The attendance officers are working with students who are approaching chronically absent at 7% to up to 19%, which is more severely chronically absent. And then our re-engagement specialists are working with students who are 20% and higher, or have been unenrolled or withdrawn from the school district and are under the age of 18 but are not enrolled anywhere else, working to get them back into the school district. There's a lot of work that happens with that in terms of case management and formal attendance monitors, resource brokering, and trying to address the barriers or the reasons why students are chronically absent or leave our district. So I do have a little bit of information that I can share with you. We have started our Student Attendance Review Board hearings. Those are every Wednesday for elementary school, every Thursday for middle and high school. Those hearings, we're working with students that are severely chronically absent. We meet together, as you all might recall, with the family. The student sometimes is there if they are an older student. And the school staff and other applicable folks that might be able to address some of the issues that the family is encountering around attendance. And then we provide 45 days of case management where we work together with the family and the student to try to stabilize that attendance and improve attendance. That's our ultimate goal. So those have started, and we get referrals in weekly from schools regarding those cases so that we can help support those students that are severely chronically absent. We did pull some data between July and September. And between July and September, and we're still working on the rest of this data, it takes a little bit of time to collect it. We did 824 transports of students. We did 803 home visits to check in on students to make sure that they don't need support, or we brought them support, or we were trying to initiate bringing them to school. We did 113 parent meetings at a school site where we were talking with families about what are the issues together with the school staff. We are currently, and this data is current up to today, we have a total of either completed or in process 1,434 formal attendance monitors. Those are 45 days long, or we're meeting weekly with a student who is chronically absent. With a goal of trying to improve their attendance. And then we have also been working to try to connect students to who they identify as a trusted adult. So they have somebody there who's there on a daily basis. Because we are mentoring and advocating for them, but we're not there every day because we're across the entire school district. And so we want them to have a person on site. And then we are currently case managing and working towards returning 136 students through our re-engagement program right now. So that's where we're at right now. We continue to see our chronic absenteeism rates lower than last year, but we won't know what the final data is until the end of this school year. So I'll be excited to let you guys know what the ultimate goal numbers are once we've completed the school year. And with that, I'm going to see if there are any questions.
Can you repeat the number of staff that you said? There was 10 and 6.
10 attendance officers, 6 re-engagement specialists. All of them are every school has an attendance officer assigned to them, and every school has a re-engagement specialist assigned to them. So attendance officers in general have about 10 to 12 schools on their caseload. Re-engagement specialists are closer to like 18 because there's fewer of them.
Thank you.
And we do have 3 middle school engagement folks that continue to work that Doug oversees, and they are on site at those schools working directly with students that are chronically absent.
Carrie Pruitt for the record. That's the project that we were doing that lost funding, right? Is that the middle school intervention project?
The funding has been reduced, but it's not totally gone yet.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then maybe at the end of the school year, we'll have some data and more information on that.
Yeah, they're still working through that, so
Yeah.
we'll definitely have all of that data and what that could look like. We're continuing to work with strengthening our communities to see how we can sustain those particular positions.
All right, thank you.
And what was that program called again?
That's our middle school engagement program, and those are the 3 staff that are at middle schools. And those are privately funded currently.
Would we be open to asking like places like nonprofit type organizations that help?
We are
build funds for
currently
that?
doing that right now, so
Okay.
we're in the process of, so thank you for bringing that up. So we are, through the Strengthening Our Communities initiative, they're working on asking for funds from a variety of different places, including businesses, but also private funders, foundations, grants, those kinds of things. So we're actively working on that. They also are working at sustaining our family resource centers and providing funding for communities and schools, which is outside of my department, but those are areas in which they all support improved attendance and support for students.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, we can move on to item 2.04. Presentation discussion to provide an update on recognitions of school efforts to reduce chronic absenteeism and possible action to provide potential recommendations to the Board of Trustees from the Student Advisory Committee to address strategies to reducing truancy and chronic absenteeism for Washoe County students for possible action.
Okay, Rochelle Mario again for the record. This is a standing agenda item, so this council was interested in hearing more about some best practices. So I'm going to be highlighting schools as we progress through. One school that I want to highlight is, if this will move forward for me, Sparks Middle School. This is, in middle school, that's where we start to see pretty significant increases in chronic absenteeism. So a lot of our efforts have been really focused on the middle school because we're wanting to provide some prevention work for students. And Sparks Middle School has really done a really great job in facilitating the concept of the one trusted adult. So this is an adult, and we're really expanding it to more than one, right? We want students to have an entire support network. And these are educators who students identify as somebody that they feel comfortable with, they can go to ask questions about school, or if they're struggling with peers, that person is able to sort of mentor and support them through their educational setting in collaboration with their family. So this is something that we've been working with. Sparks Middle School has done some of this work, and this is kind of like about a 5-minute video. I'm gonna show you about 2.5 minutes, just so you can get a sense of what students are saying about what having a trusted adult means. We've been doing some work around this, and what students through our Student Advisory Council are saying is that having an adult, particularly a teacher that they trust, improves their academics. They're more likely to ask questions. They're more likely to engage in a deeper level of learning. They are less intimidated about taking educational risks in class when they have an adult that provides a sense of safety and allows them to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. And so we're going to see what students at a middle school level are saying about that.
Showing up can be difficult sometimes, but it matters more than you think. Everyone has their own reason as to why they show up, and a person who encourages them to come every day. So here are some students at SMS that are going to share their why.
Hi, I'm Bella Skyling. The reasons why I go to school is to succeed in life and to make my parents proud. It's important because in adulthood you need to teach yourself how to reach your goals so you can succeed in future jobs. And I want to make my parents proud. The reason why you're my trusted adult is because every time I walk into your classroom, the vibe is very like, you're very welcoming and you make me comfortable to be in your classroom and you understand me, you know? Yeah.
Yay, thank you, God. Can I give you a hug?
Yeah. Love that.
Hi, my name is John. This is my why statement. My trusted adult is Miss Anderson, and showing up matters. Showing up can help you with your dream. Like for example, my dream is to become a professional soccer player. I need to show up for I can know what I have to work on and need to do, and I want to get the education that my parents didn't get because they couldn't go to college. Remember, showing up matters even if you have a different dream than me. School helps with whatever your dream is. Showing up, don't skip, and actually try in school. Plus your assignment, even if it seems hard, don't ever give up. Show up to school. You're missing a lot of learning. So I chose you as my trusted adult because like I feel safe around you, and I feel like you're like a sister to me. I can tell you everything, you know, and like you're easy to talk to, and you're very nice and kind. Thank you.
My name is Kira Ross, and I come to school to get good grades, and it's pretty much my life statement. I chose you as my trusted adult because you know my dad well, and also I feel like you're a good person, and you help me with my work a lot, and help me like when I'm upset, you help me feel more like comfortable around people.
I'm honored that I'm your trusted adult. That makes me feel really good to hear that, so thank you for that.
My name is Jefferson, and my wife's statement to why I come to school is to make my parents proud and get a good job. It's important because in this economy you need a good paying job to survive and get necessities. I chose you as my trusted adult because I can always trust you if I need help with something.
Thank you, Jefferson.
You're welcome.
That's super awesome. Can we hug? Cheers, man.
My name is Javion Richards, and I go to school to play sports, be a student athlete, and it is important because like I'm trying to like do high school sports and like make it to like college basketball for like D1 and stuff. I choose you as my favorite like teacher adult because like you made me like do better in sports, taught me how to play basketball better, and actually like pursue my actual sport dream, which is basketball. And I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, bro.
Okay.
Okay, so I just wanted to show you a few minutes. If you would like to watch the whole thing, I'm happy to send it your way. I did ask permission from the principal, and she was more than happy to share it. But I wanted to highlight Sparks Middle School because they're doing an incredible job of building that community, building those relationships with students. They do a lot of work with families, and you can see it in what their students are saying. Those are authentic relationships where they feel connected, they feel a part of the school, and it gives them a reason to be there, and it helps them through their academics. So anyway, that's why we're highlighting the school for this meeting, and so we're proud to recognize the work of Sparks Middle School and staff there. So any questions about this one?
Carrie Pruitt for the record, no questions, just a comment. I think this video is great. It's nice to see it, and to know that these kids that's made a change in their lives. For our kids who are super chronically absent, I know from a child welfare perspective, we make quite an effort to try to find that person that is their trusted adult, and it's really hard when they're not at school. We're trying to pair or just seeking out that adult that student might have a relationship with, and sometimes they just aren't engaged, so it's hard to find that person. But it's an ongoing effort, and it's something that's at the front of our radar as far as our kids that are we're trying to get back to school.
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point that, relationships are hard, and sometimes not everybody is ready to build those connections. You have to have a sense of vulnerability to be able to do that. And so I think that's why this is a great example of staff who are consistent and patient and forgiving and really build those authentic connections with students. So when students are severely chronically absent, that's sort of where our attendance officers come in. When, you know, I think I've shared at the previous agenda item that we did 803 home visits in 2 months because we're out trying to find students that are severely chronically absent. We want to connect with them wherever they're at so that we can try to build that rapport with them and then bring them back into school where school staff can really start working on building those lasting everyday connections like Sparks Middle School does.
This is kind of a strange thing to bring up, but maybe it might help. But I know for counseling, like to get your hours or to just become a professional, sometimes you have to give your time freely, obviously, and not get paid for it. But I was just curious if there is some sort of program for somebody who's trying to be a counselor to be able to go to one of these middle schools and be one of those point of contacts for them, even if it was just somebody that they knew in the hallways, giving them a high five or saying good morning and knowing their name.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if that was like, something that we can.
Yeah, I think that, so I can't speak to what counseling interns actually do, but I do think those are opportunities. I can speak because I do have social work interns, and so they do some of our work in collaboration in partnership with another staff person, so they'll connect with a student too. So we have 7 social work interns in the department this year, and they're working with students and doing some of this work too with students. So from that perspective, I can speak to that, and I'm confident that counseling interns do that as well, and it helps us to build that job skill for staff too, so that when they're graduated, hopefully they come to our district and continue to provide that great work too. So it's a great idea.
Okay, approved for the record. A lot going on in chronic absenteeism for our foster kiddos. One of the big challenges we have is, either parents, if they have reunified or if they're still living at home for, we try to do that whenever we can, or foster parents not calling the students in as truant. So I often run into Infinite Campus panels that are very red and a lot of unverified, a lot of time missed in school. And what happens is that the kid is not then deemed truant, so then the student is not necessarily accountable to the school and until they are truant, right? Because then they may have a SARB meeting depending on their age. And so I'm wondering about some of those kids I feel get missed, like there's no truancy officer. I know there aren't enough of the officers, but I'm wondering if there's a way, I'm just putting it on the wish list, to be a little more proactive about those kids that are missing a lot, but not necessarily confirmed truant and getting close to being unenrolled. And I know the effort is there already, but just I've been bumping into those quite a bit, and so I'm just wondering how we can, and asking for truancy to get involved, even though there aren't any real confirmed truant absences yet.
Okay, so I'll just say, so we have attendance officers, they're not truancy officers. No, I don't mean to, I just want to clarify, so we can work with students that are chronically absent. They don't necessarily have to be truant. That's what I mean by saying that. So they can work with any student that's chronically absent, and we have shifted our focus, like what you're saying, to working with students who are at 7%, so they're not chronically absent, but they're approaching chronically absent. So attendance officers can work with any student at 7% and beyond. Frequently, schools are trying to do interventions as well. Then we can step in as well. SARBs don't have to be truant either. They're chronically absent. We don't have to have... we frequently see truancies, but we don't have to have truancies to be able to receive a referral for a SARB either. The only system that requires a truancy is if students are going to be cited for truancy through juvenile services. The truancies are not necessarily a make or break whether we're going to intervene or not. It's whether they're chronically absent or not. Does that make sense? So it's a matter of us maybe working together to build stronger communication systems so that we can ensure that we're intervening in a timely manner with students. Does that make sense? Okay.
No further discussion on this item? Okay. Move on to item 2.05, presentation and discussion of a new initiative to establish one trusted adult for every student in the building. Kind of just talked about this in schools throughout Washoe County School District.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share a little bit more about this. Schools have been working on this throughout the school year. You saw an example of it through Sparks Middle School. It's something that as a department, we are working on facilitating for students also. We've been doing some professional development around this to build capacity for teachers. The real crux of it is that we want students to feel connected to school staff. We want them to feel seen and to have somebody that they feel comfortable going to when they may be struggling academically or with peers. And so it could be their counselor, the school social worker, their principal, or their teacher. It's frequently their teachers because those are who they are interacting with and connected with. And so I'm going to show you just a quick, brief video that sort of highlights the importance of just having an adult that you connect with through the educational process. Oh, hold on. I did this wrong. While I'm pulling this up, I'll say this is something that we have always done, but just really wanting to focus on this year. All right. Hopefully I figured
Did you
this out.
know that having at least one trusted adult at school can greatly impact your experience in a positive way? There's a tremendous amount of data saying that you will be set up to thrive in middle, high school, and college if you can name a trusted adult at school. Here's the problem. Currently, on average, only 40% of students say that they can name a trusted adult at school. What? This is not okay. The team at One Trusted Adult is on a mission to ensure that every young person on the planet can name a trusted adult, and part of that mission is working with all adults to grow capacity and commitment to show up for you and all youth in the best ways possible. But here's the thing. The adults can only go 50% of the way. That's right, 50% of the way. In order to reap the benefits of having trusted adults in your corner, you must choose to invest in healthy relationships with adults at your school. You must choose to go the other 50% of the way. Here's the other thing. You get to choose. You get to choose who you trust. This video isn't about being assigned to an advisor or someone in the building. This is about you, having the independence and agency to grow your network of trusted mentors and supporters. A skill that you will absolutely need for the rest of your life. But what exactly does trust mean? We have conducted hundreds of interviews and here's what we have heard. Trusted adults make us feel safe. They are fair and predictable. They know me and notice me. They are invested in my success. They make time for me when I need them. They challenge me when I need it and celebrate me when I deserve it. They just listen. And we hear that these trusted school adults show up as teachers, paras, principals, school counselors, bus drivers, crossing guards, coaches, cooks, custodians, advisors, and more. What we have learned is that trusted adults live the ABCs. They are accessible, boundaried, and caring. Accessibility means that they are available and approachable. It may not mean you have access to them 24/7, but it means you know how to schedule time with them, and when you are with them, they are fully present and you can sense that they are sincere and reliable. Boundaried means that they respect your body, space, opinions, identity, and voice. Boundaries are an agreed upon way to live and work together, and they keep everyone safe. It's important to note that boundaries you share with at-home adults will be different than boundaries you share with adults outside of your home. Trusted adults should be having conversations with you about these boundaries, and the comfort and safety of both parties should always be the number one priority. Care means that they are genuinely interested and invested in your well-being. Care doesn't just mean comforting you when times are tough. It also means challenging you to think bigger, holding you accountable, asking you to reflect, helping you achieve your goals, upholding rules to keep you safe, and just listening. Guess what's interesting about the ABCs? They apply to all healthy relationships, not just trusted school adult to student, but to any and all relationships, parent guardian to child, friend to friend, even romantic relationships. They all require paying attention to show how accessible we are, how we express our care, and how we talk about and uphold our personal boundaries. Don't ever forget these ABCs. You will need them forever. Okay, here's 3 things you must do following this video. 1. Thank trusted adults who show up for you now. If you thank them, you are sending a message that you appreciate what they have already done and you are hoping they keep showing up for you. If you can't name anyone, reach out to your school counselor and brainstorm who might be a good fit to connect with in your school. 2. Assess other relationships in your life. Where can you lean in and build a stronger sense of trust? What relationships need an ABC tune-up? How are those around you available? Upholding personal boundaries and showing their care. Think beyond school, too. 3. If not already, you will soon be a trusted adult for younger people. You are likely already a trusted peer, sibling, classmate, or teammate. Keep showing up using the ABCs for those around you. And if you aren't sure exactly how, a good motto to live by is to be who you need and be who you needed.
Okay, so thank you for humoring me with my videos today. But what I liked about this video is it does a really nice job of explaining exactly what a trusted adult is. It's boundaried, it's safe, it's somebody who's consistent and authentic with students, and it's driven by the student, right? It's not us saying, I'm going to be your trusted adult. It's who students choose in their school setting to build that community. And so the example that you saw in Sparks Middle School was exactly that. Students identifying who in their school they felt like was a trusted adult. To your point, Carrie, not all of our students feel connected to an adult, can't always identify. And so that's something that we are continuing to work in building capacity with our school staff to continue to work on that for students who are not feeling connected yet. We want every student to feel connected and part of their school setting. One of the activities that school staff do is called a connectedness activity. And so they can do this sometimes at the beginning of the school year or between semesters or part of their professional development, but it's looking at the list of students in their class or across their school and identifying who they're connected with, who they might know something about, or who that they don't know anything about, and maybe we need to sort of bolster and reach out to that student because maybe we don't have connections with that student and we need to reach out to that student and help them feel seen and connected. So that's that's sort of the work that we've been doing this year, and I'll leave it for questions.
Danielle Valancourt, for the record. I just had a question as to who is responsible for bringing unhoused children or foster children to school. Like, what's the system that they take to get to school? Or do we have a partnership with RTC or Washoe County or?
Okay, so there's 2 programs. We have some federal mandates in our school district around students in foster care and students that are identified as homeless. Students that are identified as homeless are still with their family. And so the family often are bringing their children to school, but if they need help, we have school of origin transportation. So we work with the transportation department to route them back to their school of origin, regardless if they're living in the zone or not. That allows them to stay where they're connected. That is the same for our students in foster care. So they also get out of zone transportation when possible. When it's not possible, sometimes we do what we call in lieu of, where we're reimbursing them if they have a vehicle. And then RTC this year has partnered with us, and they provide free bus, for all students. And then they recently donated how many bus passes? 3,000 adult bus passes for students that are in elementary school that need to be escorted by family members because they're too young to ride the bus on their own. So we have those available too, so adults can, the legal guardian can escort their child on RTC who is riding for free.
That's my.
Yeah, that's it's incredible partnership. Yeah. And that was a lot of work that Doug Taylor did and Adam Searcy, and just a lot of work around how do we become, for all students, just think about transportation differently. Our transportation department, in my opinion, does an amazing job, and RTC is supplementing too. So it's a great thing.
Carrie Pruitt, for the record, I'll just tag on to that and say we do have approximately 90 kids that are being transported to their school of origin that live outside their school zones. And we do also have a process of reimbursement through our agency where some federal Title 4E funds gets passed through and back to the school district to help offset that. And it's a real challenge right now, just to mention that we are at a critical low in our numbers of foster homes. So it's when we have fewer foster families and a student is attending school, say in Spanish Springs, and our foster family is in Cold Springs or in North Valleys, since we have fewer foster homes, we have fewer options to place kids. And so it's putting a real burden, on the system to try to keep kids in their school of origin, and it's really, really difficult right now. So, and RTC.
Bring it back to the Trusted Adult, the action the item.
Yeah,
itself.
sure.
Sorry.
Okay, so I just wanted to mention the foster family thing, but sorry, I got a little off topic.
Well, I would just
Yeah.
connect it to Trusted Adult.
Yeah.
So when students are, when they stay in their school of origin, they stay with staff that they know, that they trust, their peers. It's their connection. That's the one consistent thing. So to your point and connecting it to Trusted Adult,
Thanks.
that is some of the work, is trying to keep them with adults that they know in a part of their community. So.
Right, and just to finish up on that, this school of origin is, their school of origin is oftentimes, and the trusted support system in the school is oftentimes the only stability in their lives, the only consistent stability. So it's really important that we keep them in their school of origin and keep them connected to those trusted adults.
Thank you. That makes sense. They're there more of the time than at home most of the time, so they definitely want to be around people they see all the time. Yeah.
Is that all we have for this item?
That is all I have.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, those are all of our items other than public comment. May I ask if we have public comment?
There were 2 by email from Lori Stratton and Melanie Castellanos Ojeda.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, then item 3.02, announcement of our next meeting, which is March 13th, 2026. Wow. And then at this time, if there's no further discussion, I'd like to adjourn this meeting at 9:39. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.